What's up everybody, Alexi here. So in this video we're gonna talk about God and God's plan being delayed, and if you feel like God has kind of delayed in your life, or you feel like there's a lot of delays in your life and you feel like, like, is God coming true for me, where's my breakthrough and so on. A lot of times we don't understand what God's plan for us is, and we don't understand like where God is coming from and why he's doing certain things, because he works in a very mysterious ways. It might feel like there's a lot of delay on what God does, but it's only preparation for you to get to the breakthrough point for you, to the biggest breakthrough. Is that all that like silence and inner work you're doing in that long period of time, all that amounts to a huge success later down the line and a breakthrough for you, both inwardly and outwardly. So when you put in the work and actually like spend that like months, just silently working on yourself, it's so important, because all that delay and silence that God might put on your life, that's like the most important part, because that's where you're really doing the shadow work, you're doing the inner work, you're revealing all these bad things about yourself, you're revealing what's good and bad in your mind, and you're able to review yourself fully and see things for what they are, people, circumstances, events and things in your life, and why things are maybe falling apart, maybe things are leaving your life. Like, it's so important to be able to understand why God is doing this and how you can get to the point where God leads you to that huge success that you're meant to have in your highest self, in your highest calling with God, and what has been ordained for you by God. And the only way to accept that is to submit to God first and his plans. And then when you're working with God, you have to be able to submit and go through those struggles and hardships so you can get to that end destination. And we always, of course, will keep developing, but it obviously gets easier the more you develop and do your inner work. So I would say when you're walking with God, it's so important that we do this. That way, if you can just be in that silent season, be comfortable in the silence that God gives you, you're going to be able to reach the point where you're going to be hugely successful with God and in your faith and spirituality and everything else in life, when you just are able to stand strong in your faith and develop that true faith if you don't have it yet. And know that God is always perfect in his timing in your life, and he never delays for no reason. It's always for a reason, and that's the most important part. I hope this real quick video gives you motivation and so on, and maybe helps you understand why God might be delaying in your life. And if you're in that situations, we all have like those moments where like, why is this happening? Why am I being delayed? But it's always because you're actually developing and God is helping you to develop. So just understand that, and if there's a will, there's a way. God bless. Thank you for watching. Amen. Hope this helps. One-on-ones in the description and donations if you'd like. Thank you in the description as well.